Hey guys, with the rollout of the new pricing and the new membership plans, I figured it might be helpful for you guys if I put out a quick video on some price presentation tips. With that said, we're going to go through how to present prices using the new pricing plan and how the incentive sheet could also help you, as well as how the guest profile sheet is going to help you in presenting prices and making your case for what you recommend. Let's start with some key pointers and tips. Key number one is when presenting the pricing plans, always start from the bottom and work your way up. And why? Why do we do that this way? It's because when you're presenting prices and you're starting from the lower price and you're moving up, what happens when you get to the last price and it's the highest is it naturally makes the prospect see the middle tier as more affordable. So you're going to have an easier time, showing value by presenting it from the bottom up, because they get to that highest number and they go, ooh, okay, and they kind of work themselves back, and then they convince themselves, that the lower numbers are more affordable. Versus if you just simply said, here's Coco Plus $289. This is for someone who really needs a lot of help, and then here's the $99 plan that most people do. You say it that way, they're not even going to consider Coco Plus, and they're just going to sit there and thinking, is $99 worth it? So that's why we go from the bottom up. Key number two when presenting pricing is we want to make sure when we're explaining each level here, we want to make sure to explain or finish our explanation of each level by saying, this membership is for the person who, and then describe what that membership plan who would fit into that membership plan. And the reason we do this is we want to get them thinking and visualizing about where they fit, so they can start to kind of make up some decisions in their mind. So you'll notice that on the back of this, it actually says this membership is for on this side of the page. So there's where you can get a lot of the ways you explain it. Also, this price presentation suggestion, this script, which is in the training binder, includes a lot of different suggestions on how to explain who this membership plan is for. So take advantage of that when practicing and talking to people. And key number three is that we're going to be presenting, in most cases, Coco Plus Limited at $179 as the recommended plan for most people, because we think it is the best value for these people. And let me explain why. In general, it's the best value because you get that weekly, expert guidance and coaching and accountability from the fit coach, but you're still able to work out on your own time the rest of the time you're there. And it's really helpful because not only are you getting a better workout during your actual Coco Plus session, but then you can apply that knowledge and expertise and apply it to your other workouts. So it's almost like you're getting that additional coaching that's going to make you ultimately successful in the accountability of those weekly sessions, but you're not paying the full price of having someone there every single time. So you're getting the expertise and accountability, but you're only paying for that once a week specific Coco Plus session. Also, don't forget that they get once a week with Chelsea, the fuel coach, which is very, very valuable. Okay, so now I want to go through a kind of a practice run, or just a little bit of a run through of how to actually present the prices as if you, the camera, is the person I'm presenting to. So don't judge. Look, I'm no expert on this. The only information that I have to help me understand how we should do this is based on the way Thomas Plummer says we should present it, and based on kind of the way I've thought through it myself. Certainly welcome y'all's opinion as you do this more and more and get a feel for the best way to do it, general tips and that kind of thing. But for now, I'm just going to go off the basics of what I have come to understand learning about all this stuff, especially with Thomas Plummer's recommendations. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is I am not sitting directly across from someone or standing directly across from them. For whatever reason, it's less intimidating if you're sitting next to somebody or standing next to them versus sitting straight across from them and staring them down. Just a random tip. Secondly, when you are about to start explaining the prices to someone, it's usually going to be at the conclusion of a free session. Or it's going to be maybe at the midway point when they're considering taking us up on our offer to go ahead and start an annual membership for the free 13th month. But either way, you should know something about the individual, and how they're doing, what their experience level is. So you kind of know where they might fit in within the membership plans. Speaking of the guest profile sheet, if you're having them fill these out properly, they're going to explain to you kind of what their goals are, but more importantly, what their experience is with strength training. And perhaps most importantly for this discussion, they'll be answering this last question, which is, what is their preference for working out, for being helped while working out. So if they're answering this one, maybe Coco Plus isn't going to be something for them. But if they're answering this one or this one, Coco Plus is certainly on the table, absolutely, as a possible solution for these people, because they could need that extra help. And anyway, so just keep that in mind. This plan here is called Coco Cardio, where you have unlimited access to our cardio, but no access to the Smart Trainer. This plan is really for the person who's just looking to get back into fitness, and there's really no better way to do that than starting with our 15-minute cardio programs where you get the most out of every single workout. Coco Limited gives you unlimited access to the cardio, but you have limited access to the Smart Trainer. So 5 times a month you can utilize the Smart Trainer for your guided, customized workouts. This plan here, called Coco Unlimited, this is perhaps our most popular. This is unlimited access to the cardio and unlimited access to the Smart Trainer. So this is really for the person who's just ready to go, self-motivated, wants to experience the full power of Coco, and this is probably where most people fit in. So at this point, you're now going to transition the conversation into Coco Plus. So you want to make sure that you explain how Coco Plus differs a little bit. So let's do that now. So up here we have what's called Coco Plus. So Coco Plus is it's a different level of membership where you get more guidance and more coaching and more accountability than you do here. Even though these plans down here already have the guided workouts and the customized programs, this is just a little bit more of that accountability that you get of having someone with you. So we have 2 different levels. We have Coco Plus Limited, where once a week you're meeting with a specific trained fit coach who's going to be there from start to finish through your workout. Starting with cardio, we're going to be prescribing which cardio you're doing that day and tracking detailed notes on how you're doing, and so that we can make sure you're progressing properly. On the strength training, it's additional guidance, additional coaching, and additional kind of note-taking and tracking so that we can make sure you're doing everything right and getting the most out of each rep in the safest way possible, and just in general holding you accountable for putting forth the proper effort and in making progress. Additionally, you have a fuel coach once a week who's going to make sure you're focused on the right things from a nutritional standpoint, and again, holding you accountable for actually focusing and doing those things. This plan is really for the person who wants the best of both worlds. They want some time to do it on their own outside of Coco Plus, but they do enjoy that weekly session where they're really getting the coaching and the guidance, and perhaps most importantly, the accountability of having that person with you, making sure you're doing what you should be doing. Coco Plus Unlimited is really the person who's just, no budget constraints. It's really just, hey, I'm all in. I want the best, possible. We do have members who like the additional coaching, motivation, accountability, and they want it every single time they're here. So that would be 3 times a week for Coco Plus Unlimited. Okay, so at the end of the conversation, it's best to usually make some sort of recommendation of where you think they may fall. And remember, going back to that guest profile sheet where they responded, or how they responded to these questions, and also your feel of how they've been doing in the club. Maybe it's their first day, maybe it's 2 weeks into it when you're explaining the pricing, but you should know kind of where they would fall. So it should be pretty easy to say. We recommend that most people start here. It's the best value for your money, and you get that accountability that a lot of people need. So that would be probably the best one to be recommending. And so at this point, you're kind of wrapping up the conversation, but you do want to remember to explain to them their incentives for signing up. There's, incentives to sign up today. You have the free month. You've got choice of Coco gear, and you do have the 30-day happiness guarantee. Will be a separate video on this specifically. But also don't forget, most people probably won't take you up to sign up on day one, but don't forget to mention that, hey, look, really focus these first 2 weeks, because on day 15, anytime between now and day 15, if you decide to go ahead and sign up, we will add an additional month to any program of your choice. So really make sure you focus on these next 2 weeks, and because most people know at that time that it's ready that this is for them, so you can take advantage of that, and go ahead and sign up at that time. So there you go. So basically, you want to explain that up front so they can be thinking about it over these next 2 weeks. Oh, I need to really put forth the effort and try this out for the first 2 weeks, so I know if I want to get that free month or not. All right, guys. So I know that was pretty rough what I just did. No judgments, please. But in general, those are kind of the key points to highlight. Everyone's going to have their own way of doing it, but just if you stick to kind of the key points I mentioned up at the beginning of the video, then you're not going to have any problem. It's going to be a breeze. And don't be afraid to recommend something, and don't be afraid to recommend Coco Plus, because honestly, if we have the ability kind of to control how these people are working out, when they're working out, and putting forth the proper effort, we all know that is going to change the game and really help people. So don't be afraid to recommend Coco Plus. It's really going to be awesome for people that need it, that need that accountability. It's going to be great.
What's up, dudes? What's up, dudes?